Hello, good morning, beautiful people. This is your boy Jeffrey Akor again, coming your way again with yet another wisdom-packed message that will let you understand things of God. Okay, so there is some video that is going all around on social media that I've seen. A lot of videos going around about a prophetess who gave a prophecy to one musician, actually a gospel musician. They are all gospel musicians. That prophet is also a gospel musician, and this prophet I think now has a church and is prophesying to people and giving prophecies, supposedly messages from God. Well, I just want to let people understand the reason why we don't have to be scared of prophets of God. Prophets of God are not people that we must be scared of. That is one. Two, they are not people that say something and it's supposed to be final in this life. Okay, so you have to understand yourself, what you are doing as a child of God, and then be able to understand whatever you do in your life. Because you see, you were created by God in His image. And so it tells me that if I want to see God and I meet a fellow man, I meet a fellow woman, that person is God to me. Okay, so whatever I do, I have to make sure that I don't do anything that will hurt the person that I'm seeing. I mean, that is to me Christianity. That is to me you worshiping God, because God made the other person in His image. So we are gods on earth. That is the first thing that I want you to understand, that every human being is a God on earth. If you grow the spirit being in you, you become a great person. And then two, I want you to understand that the Spirit of God doesn't possess us. No. Because the Spirit of God already lives in us. Because when you were created, the Bible says that God breathed into you. So that breath that is in us represents the life that God gave us. And that life that God gave us is resident in our being, in ourselves, is inside of us. That tells me that God doesn't need to possess me. God doesn't need to come into me before I can be able to react or do things of God. If I have conscience and if I believe that there is a God in me, then my actions, the things that I will do, the things that I will say, must conform with the personality of God, the person of God. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not something that we are here to learn. It's something that is in us. It is built in us. So we already have it in us, okay? So let nobody scare you with prophecies and tell you things that will make you get scared and not even live your life, okay? So that is one thing that you have to understand. And then the third thing that you have to understand is that anybody who says they are using the Spirit of God to do something, they should be able to have control over that spirit, because Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 32, and it says that the spirit of a prophet is subject to the prophet. 1 Corinthians 14:32, it says the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. When you read other versions, it says that it will say that remember that people who prophesy are in control of their spirit. Remember that people who prophesy are in control of their spirit. So if somebody tells me that the Spirit of God came upon me, and from that time onwards, I didn't know what I was doing, I was moving in a frenzy, I didn't know what I was doing, I'll tell the person it's a lie. You can't act in a complete oblivion of who you are because the Spirit of God took over you. Now, you see, the only time you see the Spirit of God takes over somebody and the person is acting unawares or is acting in a frenzy is when the Bible says that an evil spirit from God tormented Saul. So anytime a spirit comes over you that you cannot control the actions of the spirit, then that spirit is questionable. You need to question that spirit. Okay. Now, let me come to the main issue. The main issue here is that prophet in Africa, I'm just going to just stay with African prophet because that is where I see the problem coming from. You know, first and foremost is illiteracy. Illiteracy makes them decode messages that they hear differently. I'm not saying they don't hear, they hear, but illiteracy makes them decode whatever they hear differently. And those who write them, who transcribe them, will also transcribe them differently. And then their modus operandi, how they are able to present the prophecy, that is where I have the biggest problem. You see, if you have a prophecy that somebody is going to die, and you tell the person, I had a prophecy that you're going to die, I'm not saying that is a good prophecy. I'll come to what prophecies are for and what should come as a prophecy and what should not come as a prophecy. But I just want to let you understand the gimmicks that they do with prophecy. So they come up to say that, oh, I had a prophecy that you're going to die. Good, you heard that prophecy. Is it necessary to start telling me that you went to the third plane and God took you to the 2nd and 15th heavens and there you saw this and saw that? Are all those things that you're going to tell me going to change the prophecy you have for me? If the answer is no, that is not going to change the prophecy you have for me, then there was no need saying all those things for me to be scared of you. Okay? African prophecies give you prophecy. Prophet gives you prophecy for you to be scared of them. That is one. Two, they give you those prophecies so you would chase them. You will go after them. Three, they give you those prophecies so that you will halt your own life and depend on them totally. Okay? If you go in your room and you pray to God, you don't think evil about nobody. You do good. You love people. You respect people. Nothing in this world can get close to you. Think about what I just said. If you are a good person, you have a good heart. You give freely. You think good about people. You don't think evil about anybody. You wish everybody well in this world. And you love people genuinely from your heart, not fake love. Genuinely from your heart. And you do what you're supposed to do on earth. Listen, you don't need a God to make it happen. Because look at this. In this life, if you want to be a spiritual person, then you cannot do it without spirit beings. But if you just want to live your life, prosper in this world, and move on in life, you don't need a God for that. Don't get me wrong. You don't need a God to live your life. No, you don't need that. Because everything that you can do to make your life better, God has given them to you already. You don't need him to change anything again. No. You don't need him to do that. That is not his job. He has given you the power already. He has given you everything there is to get. You don't need anything else again. Okay? All you need to do is to understand this world you are living in. This is where you are living. Understand this world you're living in and understand the things that you can do to make your life better. It's way important. Now, so I've given you these cues that you need to know. You understand? Now, so if any prophet is giving you a prophecy and the prophecy does not go well, or the prophet just comes to you and start talking without exercising some restraint or looking at the environment the prophet is giving you the prophecy, question that prophecy. Okay. If I say this, then I'm going to get back to this video that just came about Cecilia Marfo and Joyce Blessing. Then I will leave it up to you for your own perusal. Okay? I'll leave it up to you for you to decide as to what is going on and be able to tell if it's a good thing or not. Let's look at the video. Okay, now I'm going to go into it. I just want you to see the video and see what happened, and then we can take it from there, okay? All right, so let's go look at it. He was even prophesying. You know, this is what I call prophecy. When somebody is just saying words that will encourage you, words that will make you grow in life, words that will build you up. I call those things prophecy. So if somebody prophesies or somebody just says something encouraging on your life, something important on your life, I see that as prophecy. Okay, yeah, let's go on. So it was a very powerful message. It was a very powerful worship that she was doing. At this point, she actually got into the spirit. So you could see that she was in the mood. She was actually in the mood. So let's go on. You will see something. So this song is where the whole issue started. You see, I say, "Bera wa papa, enyida sunyi narasano, Yehovah Yehovah beshewo, na inkwaji to me be." So it's like the song itself explains something else. So it just song is trying to say that when you are tired, when you are restless, when you don't know what to do in life, when everything has come to a standstill, there's no movement, there's nothing happening in your life, you just have to rely on God. He will come to your aid. So the song is what pushed the prophetess to come. So you watch it, you see it. To me be. See, there's no doubt that personally, as I sit here, I'm kind of feeling the worship that the lady was doing. So it means that, she was on point. She was doing something great for God. And I think that if at this very point, if God wanted to say something to her, God could have said it to her. You understand? And I also don't doubt the fact that maybe God could have passed through somebody to give her the message that she needs to give. But let's see the modus operandi, how the whole thing happened. I just want you to see it. So she says something. She said, whatever she went through, God did not disgrace her. So get it. The prophetess was building all this information, putting them together. So the first part of the song that she sang, and so let's go to the first part of the song that she was singing, the other part. So this part. And then we go to when she said that whatever she went through, God did not let her down. That is when the prophetess started building all those prophecy. So wait. She actually waited for the lady to do all the worship that she needs to do. So you remember Joyce said that, I think my time is up. I think my time is about to end. You understand? So that is the point the woman felt that, okay, this is the point I can go in. Okay, let me just forward it up. Let me just forward it so we get to exactly where. Okay, so this is the point we're going to see where she came to take the mic. So she went to hold the other guy's hand and started a song. And the song says that God knows what I need, so he will do it all for me. And so that also comes to add up to all that she said. The very first song that she sang, what she said in the middle of the song, that whatever she's gone through, God has been with her through all those hassles and all those problems. And then now the last song to end is God knows what I need and she will do it for me. And so that is the point the woman, the prophetess, came in. So you see that if you can see the clue, the guy close to Joyce saw the lady coming. So he could have stopped the lady, right? But she didn't do that. He didn't do that. Watch it. Okay, this is what I taught, the modus operandi. You see, if it's even God, let's just assume that it was God. God did this. Okay, God did this. God actually made her come for the mic. God actually made her come for the mic. Let's just assume that God did that. Okay, the way she came to take the mic from the lady, from Joyce, the power of God doesn't do something like that. The power of God doesn't do something like that. You understand? The power of God will not move somebody in frenzy like that, in complete oblivion of her environment and surrounding. God doesn't do that. God doesn't do that. Okay, good. Let's go on. Then now she started by saying, my daughter, if you will listen to my voice again, that means that voice has already come before. And Joyce did not hit to that message. You understand? So this is an open thing that she was going to do. So you realize that the woman said, if you're going to hear my voice again, trying to say that it is God that is speaking through her. Let's go on. Now, then she nailed it. Sign Kofa warrior, go for your marriage. Now, marital issues are very delicate issues that we don't discuss in the open like that. And in looking at her situation, I mean, what she has gone through previously with this marriage thing, and then the fact that they have to end it and then separate and everybody go their way, and you will say this publicly like that, it tarnishes the person's image. Let's go on. Then she spoke in tongues. She spoke in tongues. Okay, now this is the thing that I have a problem with. I have a problem with this thing. You see, when God is speaking through you, God will not, that spirit that's speaking through you will not speak in tongues. No, it will not speak in tongues unless there's somebody there to explain. If there's nobody there to explain, then the spirit that is talking to you will not speak in tongues. That means you have control over what you say at that time. So that is where the Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 32, The prophet is subject, the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. So you realize that when she started talking, it got to a point she stopped, and now she started talking in tongues, speaking in tongues. Okay, good. Let's go on. See, there's one thing that I just want people to understand. Those things that people do when back home in Ghana, we used to do this thing. Like people would just be in church and they'll start shouting, "My children, my children, my children." Anybody who start that thing in church, shut them up. Shut them up right away. Shut them up right away. God doesn't speak like that. God doesn't talk like that. You know, quote me anywhere and I'll explain to you. God doesn't talk like that. Okay, so I'm having a problem with the operation of this woman, the way she was doing things of God, you understand, and speaking as though God is talking through her. You know, I'm not going to debunk the fact that what she's doing might come from God, but I am thinking that if there is a spirit that has taken possession of her at that very moment, that she doesn't have control over herself, then that spirit needs to be questioned. That spirit might not be from God. That's what I'm saying. Let's go on. Now she said, "Listen to me and go for your husband." So at that very moment, I just want to find out something. Has the Spirit of God now departed from her, or the Spirit of God is still with her? You understand? Because you see, she said that, "Now listen to me and go for your husband." She didn't say, "Now listen to God and go for your husband." It says, "Now listen to me and go for your husband." That means that in that very state that she was in, the spirit took over her and the spirit left her at a point. Now, when the spirit left her and she said, "Now listen to me and go for your husband," she started speaking in tongues again, you see? Then she continued. Then she continued. She continued again the prophecy. She continued again the prophecy. The modus operandi, the way she presented it was totally wrong. The environment she presented it was wrong. And that's the same problem with most prophets in Ghana. In Africa, they'll call somebody in church and openly say everything about the person, even the deeper secrets about the person, putting the person in a big disgrace, in a big... See, it changes. It makes people lose faith in Christianity. It makes people run away from God. And that is not what we're looking for. So sooner or later, you see Christianity going down, not because of anything, but it's because of the actions of this so-called prophet that is actually messing up everything. I'm begging of you guys. You can prophesy, no doubt about it. You can do your prophecies and everything, no doubt about it. But please, please, anytime you're doing that, exercise some sort of decorum. You know, be smart enough to know that these things I'm going to say, I have to apply wisdom. There's some wisdom that you have to apply to whatever you hear or whatever you see. If you cannot apply wisdom to your prophecies or apply wisdom to what you see, and you just say them as you hear it, or just say them anyhow, then you end up, instead of bringing the person to God, you'll be pushing the person away. So there's a way we teach the word of God, and there's a way we present prophecies. Let's all be mindful of that, and God will bless us all. The name is still Jeffrey Aqua, and I always respond to beautiful things like this. You might consider subscribing to this channel so that anytime I put something up, you'll be the first to hear. Let's learn some wisdom. Let's grow in wisdom, and so that our life will be a beautiful place, beautiful for us. This world was made for us. We need to understand this world and live in this world peacefully and happily, without having to be creating problems for people here and there. We need to just live in this life and be happy. Okay? So you be happy, I will be happy. We'll meet same time next week. Remain blessed.